Angel Reese, what an absolute embarrassment last night. What an absolute disaster from the moment you walked in the tunnel to the moment that game ended. You were just a walking meme the entire game. I'm sorry I had to say it, but it wasn't just you, Angel. It wasn't just you. We have a over a minute of bloopies, a 1 minute plus highlight reel of.
Nobody expected the most expensive tickets in women's basketball to come with front row seats. To pure frustration, the crowd arrived ready for a legendary showdown, but within minutes, the energy on the court felt so strangely lifeless that fans began looking at each other instead of the game. Then Angel Reese missed another point-blank layup. Caitlin Clark finally snapped, and the moment everyone came to see instantly became the moment nobody could stop talking about.
Really? That's the effort we're getting? That's the effort y'all are gonna give the fans that paid nearly $400 for a ticket? That's the embarrassing, piss-poor effort y'all are going to give them in an all-star game. You know, at this game, cancel the all-star game. At this rate, cancel the all-star game, name people all-stars, mail them an award, and keep the regular season going. This is trash. This is straight-up trash.
Strangest part of the night was not that tempers eventually boiled over. It was that thousands of people sat watching the slow-motion collapse of a spectacle that had been advertised for months without immediately realizing the dream they had purchased was quietly slipping away.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. When I turned on ABC last night around 7:30, the announcers told me that I was tuning in to the WNBA All-Star Game. Hey friends, it's me, ABC LGBT. We have a special treat for you tonight. The most elite athletes in the world have joined forces in the United Center in Chicago. The stars are in the building. Their hands are to the ceiling as they prepare to mesmerize you with amazing air.
The arena still looked spectacular. The television cameras still captured celebrities smiling courtside. And every commercial break continued selling the image of women's basketball reaching another historic milestone.
Let's talk about the WNBA All-Star Game. It was a total and complete mess. I paid attention till about midway through the second quarter, maybe, until it became very apparent that Caitlin Clark was probably going to get iced out in this game. And, well, what do you expect? It became exactly that. Once it was made clear that they wanted somebody else to win the most valuable player.
Yet underneath the polished presentation, something felt strangely disconnected from the moment everyone had been promised. Long before the opening tip, this event had become much bigger than a basketball game.
Okay, so I said that the rant video was coming a little bit later. And this is my, I'm going to say yearly All-Star rant, but not yearly All-Star rant, because 2024 was exceptional. This game was absolutely a joke. This was awful. Like, when it gets to the extent where Kelsey Plum is there on commentary.
Evolved into a cultural event driven by the rivalry that had captivated fans since the college days of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Every conversation surrounding the matchup suggested that another unforgettable chapter was about to be written. Television analysts debated it endlessly. Social media turned every promotional clip into a trending topic, and ticket prices climbed into territory that would have sounded ridiculous only a few years earlier. Fans willingly accepted those prices because they believed they were buying access to one of those rare sporting moments that people would still be discussing years later. The league certainly embraced that expectation. Promotional campaigns featured the biggest personalities at every opportunity. Sponsors eagerly attached themselves to the occasion, and broadcasters treated the contest as though it represented another giant leap forward for women's basketball. From a business perspective, everything looked perfect. Players went through their routines. But the emotional intensity never seemed to match the enormous expectations surrounding the evening. Nobody interpreted those observations as warning signs because athletes often appear relaxed before competition. Looking back afterwards, however, many people would point to those early moments as the first indication that the night was drifting in an unexpected direction.
Look at this, man. Gets the ball, pulls it from the crazy logo and knocked it down. My goodness, man. Caitlin was just on fire in this game, man. Cooled off in the second half, but my goodness, that girl was going crazy in the first. Going crazy. Then she hit Breanna Stewart. Hit Breanna Stewart with the with another ooh from the deep range. I mean, absolutely embarrassing Breanna. Just giving straight Visine work, man. Clear her eyes. Clearing her eyes up, though.
When play finally started, anticipation quickly collided with reality. Instead of witnessing two teams desperate to prove themselves on a national stage, viewers watched possessions filled with careless mistakes, slow defensive rotations, and surprisingly little urgency. Fast breaks rarely carried any real excitement because players often jogged instead of sprinting. Defensive possessions lacked physicality, rebounds were surrendered without much resistance, and several offensive sets dissolved into confusion before they had a chance to develop properly. The contrast between expectation and execution became impossible to ignore. Fans who had spent extraordinary sums on tickets did not expect perfection because basketball naturally includes mistakes. Television broadcasts could only do so much to disguise the changing mood. Camera operators continued finding enthusiastic supporters. Commentators searched for positive storylines, and producers highlighted entertaining moments whenever possible. Still, basketball has an unfortunate habit of exposing uncomfortable truths. Energy cannot be manufactured through editing when everyone watching can clearly recognize that something feels off.
Brick Center has put together. Last night's All-Star game was a disaster. But to be fair, if you were expecting an actual game, come on, right? If you were expecting fireworks, guys, come on. I wasn't expecting anything. In fact, shout out to everybody in the venue. I was expecting 10 people to be half-assing at the same time. And for the most part, that's what we saw. But Angel Reese got blocked by a player that said she wasn't even trying to block. Angel Reese got blocked by Asia.
As disappointment spread throughout the arena, attention gradually shifted toward one player whose performance became impossible to overlook. Angel Reese entered the game carrying the confidence and charisma that have made her one of the sport's most recognizable figures. Throughout her career, she has built a reputation on relentless rebounding, physical interior play, and emotional intensity. Those qualities usually allow her to influence games even when her offensive production fluctuates. This time, however, very little resembled the version of Reese that basketball fans had become accustomed to watching, possession after possession produced surprising results. She found excellent scoring position around the basket, received accurate passes from teammates. Any player can experience an unusually poor shooting night. Basketball history is filled with elite athletes enduring games they would rather forget. What generated criticism here was not simply the missed baskets themselves. Many observers believed the level of urgency after those mistakes failed to match the importance of the moment. Instead of immediately responding with aggressive defensive effort or fighting harder for the next rebound, there were possessions where body language suggested visible frustration rather than renewed determination. Commentators began carefully choosing their words because criticizing star players during showcase events requires balance.
Oh, remember that time? Now, what if I was to tell you there was another time that took place just yesterday where Caitlin Clark was having mighty a good old time with New York Liberty mascot? Now, it could be the New York Liberty mascot, which I don't know her name like that. Maybe y'all get down in the comments and let me know the mascot name. Maybe she could be recruiting Caitlin. But one thing I can say is that this is looking very, very, y'all know my favorite word.
Nobody wanted to overreact to one difficult performance, yet everyone could see that the struggles were becoming central to the story unfolding on the court. Every additional miss increased the uncomfortable feelings spreading through both the arena and the broadcast. Meanwhile, one teammate appeared increasingly unable to hide her own frustration. Caitlin Clark has earned a reputation that extends far beyond her extraordinary shooting range or passing ability. One characteristic consistently mentioned by coaches, teammates, and opponents alike is her relentless, competitive personality. Throughout the evening, she continued trying to accelerate the pace whenever possible. She pushed the ball in transition, created open looks for teammates with pinpoint passes, and attempted to inject rhythm into an offense that frequently looked stuck in neutral. Several of those possessions produced exactly the opportunities coaches hoped to create. Unfortunately, clean passing sequences often ended with missed finishes or broken offensive execution for a point guard whose greatest strength involves creating opportunities. For others, repeated failures to convert those chances can become mentally exhausting.